Down 14-0. Matthew Ridge takes his side back out as we welcome you back to Brisbane's Suncorp Stadium on the Wide World of Sports. The second test in the Visa Test Series. Australia versus New Zealand. 2 tries to 0. Australia, as I said, just coming up to the break, they were comprehensively the better team. But there were some moments of discomfort for many players.
The Aussies certainly winning the battle of the statistics at the break as well. Plenty more football there, 56% to 44. The 26 uses of the football, that is probably a little bit more than what it actually is, because they've had a lot of penalties. They actually lead the penalty count 10 penalties to 3. A lot of those did come early in the tackle count. 2 line breaks to 0, and way too many handling errors for the Kiwis, 9 to 4.
Having a great game. He's guided them around the park. Probably hasn't been the star, but he's certainly been the fulcrum of most of the Australian activity.
Yeah, has he what? He's having a great game. Andrew Johns hasn't run that much from dummy half, but he's been involved in plenty of defence, leading the tackle count with 13 tackles. And what you don't see there is Steve Renouf's come up with 9 tackles out wide, doing a good job keeping the New Zealand centres quiet. And for the Kiwis, Jared McCracken, very physical, very involved performance by him. 15 tackles and plenty of good strong hit-ups as well.
Russell Smith, the English referee, had more than a busy first half. And very tough to send people off, I understand, in test matches, grand finals. But he didn't utilise the sin bin either. Not that it's there, I suppose, for foul play. But he needed to put a hose on it. He needed to extinguish it earlier than he did, and we almost saw, well, not almost, we did see a very serious injury occur to young Stephen Price. And when we go to Steve Roach, we'll find out the condition of Steve Price. Everybody quite concerned about him, as Johns clears the first set for Australia in the second half, and Barnett comes back, met by the 2 small men, Langer and Walters. They combine to almost score a try, and then they combine to put Lockyer in. First minute then of the second half. Steve Roach is back from the sheds. We'll go to Steve now. Yes, big fella.
Yeah, firstly, Steve Price is okay. He's back on the bench now, and he will be used in the second half. Australia coach Wayne Bennett was very happy. He said, don't get caught up in the niggle, play footy. They will self-destruct if they keep giving away silly penalties. He said, be patient, New Zealand will tire as the game goes on. He said, stay alive and attack. He said, the defence is outstanding. He said, don't give them a sniff in that second half. For New Zealand, Frank Endicott, he was quite happy, but he thinks that his side needs to get onto the scoreboard. He said, don't give the Aussies any space, keep coming up, and they will try second phase play all game in the second half. He said, don't let emotions overrun us. He said, we must complete our sets in the second half. In saying that, he said, let's not give the Aussies any rhythm. Don't let them get in any rhythm and try to slow them down in that second half.
Thank you, Steve. Australia bringing it back towards halfway with Darren Britt. After we saw Renouf and Walters to the 4 on the left of the ground. Now Kearns. He elevated to Origin football this year, Kearns, Robbie. Now represents the Kangaroos for the first time. Right arm heavily taped. Lockyer. He was, we thought, seriously hurt, but he came back and scored that second try. In fact, a couple of the players that we thought were quite serious have bounced back and have played a leading role in all of this. Logan Swanmel.
This is a very important 40 minutes for New Zealand. I have doubts that they can win this test match. It has been pointed out it is a year of comebacks. But we've got another game in a week's time, and New Zealand have got to have something to go into that game with. And they've got to get a good 40 minutes on the board here to give them some confidence in the decider if they are unable to snatch this one.
Kearney away. Jones dummied to McCracken, gave it wider for Ridge, who puts a grubbing kick down to the 20-metre line. And misunderstanding there between Brasher and Lockyer. And he wants to... He's putting a scrum down. He's giving the feed to Australia anyway.
Some better attack there from the Kiwis. They actually put some passes together. It's been towed through there by Wiki into touch. Too many times tonight they've run one out and been easy prey for the Australian defence.
Very small crowd in by Brisbane standards, although that was the question as Saylor gets his right thigh taped. That was the question being asked here in Brisbane at the latter part of the NRL season. Where have all the people gone? Brasher. It's in evidence again tonight. Darren Smith down the blind, his brother Jason. 30-metre line now. And the Smith brothers doing it all. Before Langer, Kearns.
And Tim Brasher stayed down after that tackle. He beat Robbie Paul, dropped the hip.
Good tackle on Britt. He didn't slacken off Darren, but Vangadar and McCracken, they hit him. Smashed him to the ground. Webke rushing them away, stampeding down the ground. Good run by Webke.
That's the best run of the night.
This is the last. Langer kicking on the 30, keeping the ball on the ground. Good tactics in greasy conditions. And Langer has persisted with that. He's preferred to go for the grubber as opposed to the high ball. Barnett is 5. Eru. Wiki. Relatively quiet. Pongia. Jones. Paul. Lost by Kevin Iro. And Saylor's got it for Australia. Clean ball on the 30. Langer to dummy half. To spread. Through Jason Smith. Lockyer away. Walters out wide. Coming off the left foot. To the 20. Lockyer again. Finding Andrew Johns. With a bit more latitude. Intercepted. That's Sean Hoppy who's away. The green and gold chasers. They haven't the pace at the moment. Still going. Magnificent effort by Sean Hoppy. I thought Darren Lockyer had him, but he's left them grasping at mid-air.
Well, I talked about the wingers earlier, about the class finishing. You won't see better than that. He's plucked an intercept. Darren Britt through the pass, way down close to the New Zealand line. They went the short side, throws it up, plucked by Hoppy. Look at the chase from the number 8, Shane Webke. It's a beauty. Lockyer picks up plenty of ground on Hoppy. Jason Smith is there. There are 4 players there, including Darren Smith. And somehow he stepped back on the inside and beaten the quartet to get New Zealand's first points.
Well, they were dead set gone, New Zealand. Australia are about to score again and put them out of their misery. And look at the determination on this man's face, Sean Hoppy. Probably not as quick as he was 5 years ago, but who is? He was fair dinkum surrounded here. They had him covered. There's 1,000 of them, and he beat them all. And that would lift the Kiwis, no doubt about it. Great stuff.
They actually got too many numbers there, didn't they? Darren Smith came across and he ended up going straight past the man carrying the football.
But you got it right. There's the kick. It's successful. Ridge has converted. 14-6, a great try for Hoppy. A tremendous chase by Webke. We go to a break at the 46th minute.